Hello everyone. Today onwards, I am going to start a new lecture series on electric vehicles, particularly electrical vehicles, how they are built, what is the internal design of the electrical vehicles, how battery management will be there in the electrical vehicles. All these concepts will be look in the next upcoming sessions. Today I am going to start the unit 1, the introduction to electric vehicles. So what is electric vehicle? Why it is needed in current situation? So looking at the environmental and economical issues, always we provide a need of importance to develop some clean and efficient, sustainable and renewable kind of electrical vehicles for transportation. So these issues always look at alternative energy sources or alternate transportation technologies. See, nowadays what we are using the diesel engine vehicles, petrol engine vehicles. So we are using the fuels for transportation purpose. So we are wasting lot of energy for the transportation, and they are emitting hazardous gases which will cause the uh, damage to the ozone layer. So by looking these issues, we have to look at the alternate energy sources instead of using petrol, diesel, all those kinds of fuels. So first thing is that we need to change, or we need to bring up the alternate energy sources for the passenger vehicles. So passenger vehicles constitute an integral part of our everyday life, because so many people has to go from home to office, office to home, and so many students use the public transportations, like going from home to schools, colleges, offices, etc. So we are maximum part, all the people depends upon the passenger vehicles. So it constitute an integral part of our everyday life. At the exhaust emission of the conventional internal combustion engine vehicles are the major source of urban pollution that causes the greenhouse gases, which leads to global warming. As of now, I told the passenger vehicles, whatever we are using, scooters, bikes, diesel engine vehicles, petrol engine vehicles, cars, motorcycles, everything will be emitting the hazardous gases, which causes the air pollution that leads to be the greenhouse, that will be the leading to the global warming. So the world reservoirs for fossil fuels diminishing in nature. So as in we are using the fuels from long years ago. So till now we are using the maximum source of energy of the fossil fuels. So fossil fuels are the diminishing in nature day by day. So we have to look at the alternate energy sources and vehicles for sustainable development of country and eco-friendly environment. So emission due to power generation is much easier to regulate than the pollution occurred by IC engine vehicles. So let us consider one part, that is a power generation. Okay, power generation, it needs coal and so many procedure it has to take on place. Okay, in those procedures, lot of energy, heat, it will be eliminated in the form of gas. Okay, that will causing the damage to the ozone layer. So considering the air pollution which is causing by the IC engines like petrol engine, vehicle engines from the vehicles is much more less than the IC engine vehicles. These are scattered and controlled individually all over the world. So we need to control these things all over the world. Means if you want to control it in only in your located area or in your state, it is not possible to regulate the greenhouse gas emissions or a global warming. But whenever we reduce complete 80% of the usage of the IC engine vehicles, so that we can regulate globally, if we are doing this, definitely we are going to reduce the global warming, and by we can reduce the air pollution. Next, move on to the next slide. So electrical power can be generated using renewable energy sources like solar and wind. So nowadays we are using the all the IC engines which may consume the fuels like petrol, diesel, like fuels they are consuming. So alternately, which energy sources we look for? Definitely, we have to go for the renewable energy sources, or we can also call them as a non-conventional energy sources like solar, wind, hydel energy. All these can be used as a alternate energy sources. The source of energy for electric vehicle should be clean and hence use high efficient transportation system. See how to get the energy, what kind of source of energy we have to look for the electrical vehicles should be clean, and they should not be produce much pollutants, so that they can give the high efficient transportation system. The efficiency of the transportation system by providing the solar and wind must be high, because we are using these electrical vehicles for the transportation purpose. While we are using this for the transportation purpose, they have to give a maximum mileage. Means that the high efficiency they have to give. If I charge it once, so it has to come for a longer kilometers. Like that, it has to produce the high efficient transportation system. These have no emission and therefore are capable of curbing the problem of pollution in an efficient way. So that we can consider the electrical vehicles which are using the solar and wind energy as the main source of energy, and which are giving the high efficient transportation system. They should not be having no emission. I cannot say it is a zero emission, but I can say it is a no emission, and therefore they can be capable of reducing the problem of pollution in an efficient way globally. So that electrical vehicles are the only zero emission vehicles. So I can call it now as a, if the problem of pollution is reducing 100%, then we can call it as electrical vehicles are the zero emission vehicles. So electrical vehicles are becoming popular as not only they reduce noise and pollution, but also they reduce the dependency on transportation on oil when energy used for electrical vehicle provided by non-renewable energy sources. So why these electrical vehicles becoming popular now, and why we are going to rely completely on the electrical vehicle in upcoming 5 to 10 years? Because they are noiseless, and they will not produce any noise, so that sound pollution will be not there, and zero emission vehicles, so that we are using the alternate energy sources for the solar and wind instead of the IC engines. So it is completely the emission free, so that if it is a emission free and the noise is also less, and we are not using any fossil fuels for the production of these fuels and all, so that completely we are not independent on the oil resources and non-renewable energy resources, so that the electrical vehicles are popular nowadays. So just look at the some summary of the electrical vehicles, the path which is followed by the electrical vehicles in India. So first, concrete decision to incentives electric vehicles was taken in 2010. So how this decision has been taken in India, so that in for the next 10 to 15 years we don't using any fossil fueled vehicles, and we are completely rely on the solar powered vehicle or wind energy powered vehicle, or alternate energy powered vehicles. That decision was taken in 2010, and the scheme was approved by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, that is called as the MNRE Government of India, with the uh, with the uh, with the investment of 95 crore in the year 2010. Just I'll highlight this one. So in the year 2010, with the investment of rupees 95 crore by MNRE Government of India. So after that, in 2013, National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020 to make a major shift to electric vehicle, and to address the issue of national energy security, vehicular pollution and growth of domestic manufacturing capabilities. So one more initiative has been taken by the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020 in 2013 to make the major shift to electrical vehicle to address the issue of national energy security. So here we are seeing, so about 50% of the energy will be saved by using the electrical vehicles that will be addressed to the people so that we can reduce the pollution growth in domestic manufacturing capabilities. In 2015 and 16, the scheme named Faster Adoption of Electric Vehicles, FAME, it is also called as a FAME, to offer incentives for clean fuel technology cars to boost sales up to 7 million vehicles by 2020. They have the aim by the FAME named scheme in 2015-16, by the year 2020, at least we can see the sales of cars about 7 million vehicles by 2020. In 2019 again, the Union Cabinet has ready to invest 10,000 crore rupees program under FAME 2 scheme to encourage faster adoption of the electric vehicles. Now India is expected to hit over 63 lakhs of unit mark per annum by 2027 according to the report of Indian Energy Storage Alliance. So these are all the progress of the electrical vehicles in India. So now, so what is the history of electric vehicles? How this concept of electrical vehicles come globally? That is, it's all about starting from in 1830. First, the scientists have discovered the steam powered transportation. After this, in 1831, Faraday's laws and shortly thereafter, invention of the DC motor. Okay, first they have developed the steam power transportation, and then in 1831 applied the Faraday's law, and shortly thereafter invention of the DC motor has been taken place. So it will be much easier once they have invented the DC motor. In 1834, a non-rechargeable battery-powered electric car used on short track. See, first initiative what they had taken, the non-rechargeable battery, which will be powered to the electric car used in a short track, means very small distance that it is covered by using the non-rechargeable battery. In 1851, non-rechargeable 19 miles per hour electric car they have invented. See, first what they have invented, a non-rechargeable battery powered electric car, but it will be used for very short distance. And later years, 1851, a non-rechargeable 19 miles per hour electric car will be invented. So that after this, 1859, the development of lead storage battery, so that we can charge the batteries. In 1874, battery powered carriage. The completely battery powered carriage will be invented in the year of 1874. After this, it is up to 1874, almost 40% of the work is done on the electric vehicles. Later, in 1960, due to the environmental hazards of IC engine vehicles, Ford company, which company? The first company it is, the Ford company started research on the electric vehicles. So in the year of 1960, many scientists have started thinking about the environmental hazards which are creating by the IC engines for next upcoming years. If we completely rely on these IC engines only for next upcoming years also, what might be the environmental conditions? How much air pollution will be happen and how the global warming will be increased? These all thoughts will be coming the scientists, and finally they are looking and started the new research on electric vehicles. The first company, which is Ford. In 1970, the increased demand on alternative energy sources led to the increase and interest on electric vehicles. So all scientists they have research, and after so many research, they completely look at the alternate energy sources. In 1980 to 1990, revolutions of high power, high frequency semiconductor switches led to improved electric motors efficiently. So what revolutionary thing happened here between 1980 and 1990? The high frequency semiconductor switches. So once they use the high conductor semiconductor switches, they can improve the electric motors efficiency by using these recharged batteries. In 2008, the company called Tesla, this Tesla motor delivered the Tesla Roadster, which is the first battery electric vehicle to travel more than 200 miles on a single charge. See here, for a single charge, about 200 miles mileage it is giving the first battery electric vehicle, that is Tesla. In 2017, a trio raised over 3 million of funds for eco-friendly transportation. The Etrio company has invested over 3 millions of funds to eco-friendly transportation. This is all about the history of electric vehicle till 2017. So nowadays we can see electrical vehicles on the roads. So electric cars, electric scooters, so many we are seeing now. Autos also we are seeing on the roads. So new inventories are going on to make it high efficiency. So now what are electric vehicles? Electric vehicle is nothing but there are so many definitions we can give, so many understanding of the electrical vehicle definitions are there. So we can say in general the electrical vehicle is nothing but any vehicle which is propelled or moved by an electric drive train draining taking power from a rechargeable battery or from a portable refillable electrical energy source like fuel cell, solar panels, etc., which is manufactured for use on public road. So in general I can say what is electric vehicle. Electric vehicle is nothing but what? At any vehicle which is propelled by, means moved by electric drive train. Electric drive training taking power from a rechargeable battery. Electric drive train training taking power from a rechargeable battery. In upcoming lectures I will explain what is electric drive train and all. Train taking power from a rechargeable battery. Okay, it should not be non-rechargeable, it should be rechargeable, because once we charge the battery it has to come for some kilometers, it has to run for some kilometer. Once it is completed or lower energy in the battery, so again it is charged, then again we can continue the journey on the road. So that rechargeable battery has to be taken here, or from a portable refillable or any portable refillable electrical energy source like fuel cells, solar panels. Means for the recharging of the battery we can use the solar cells, solar panels, etc., which is manufactured for use on a public road. So this is in general we can say what is electric vehicle. What is exactly the electrical vehicle is, we look at this definition. A vehicle which uses one or more electric motors for propulsion. Depending on the type of vehicle, motion may be provided by wheels or propellers driven by rotary motors, or in the case of tracked vehicles by linear motors. This is one of the definition of electric vehicles. So before going to this definition, so electrical vehicle is such a vehicle that runs maybe fully or partially on electricity. See, I cannot say electrical vehicle is the vehicle which can completely run on the electricity. No, that is not. Or we can say only the electrical vehicle which can partially run on the electricity. So that both combination it is. Okay, the completely it can run on the electricity, or partially it can be run on the electricity. So that unlike conventional vehicles that just use fossil fuels, e-vehicles use the electric motor that is powered by a fuel cell or batteries. So we can see the conventional electrical sources. So conventional electrical sources, what they will use? They will use the IC engine and fuels. So unlike the So unlike the conventional vehicles, whatever they are using the fossil fuels, electrical vehicles, they are using the electricity and the electric motor. That electric motor and electricity comes from the batteries or fuel cells or a solar panel, which is powered to the electric motor. That electric motor, once it runs, our vehicle will move. So next come to this definition. What is this definition? A electrical vehicle, or I simply call it as a vehicle which uses one or more electric motors. What it uses? It uses the electric motors instead of fossil fuels. Okay, it is just alternating source of uh, engine, we can say. Here conventional vehicles use the fuels. Here e-vehicles we are using electric motors for the propulsion, for the movement of the vehicle. Depending on the type of vehicle, motion may be provided by wheels or propellers driven by rotary motors. So depending upon the type of the vehicle, what kind of type of the vehicle it is, either it is a car or either it is a motorbike, a motorcycle or a scooter. Okay, depending upon that, we have to decide, or the manufacturer has to decide, the propulsion or the motion may be provided by the wheels or propellers which are driven by the rotary motors, means rotating motors, or in the case of tracked vehicles by linear motors, or in some cases we can use the tracked vehicles which are using the linear motors instead of rotary motors. So electric vehicles can include electric cars, electric trains, trucks, lorries, electric airplanes, electric boats, electric motorcycles, scooters and electric space cars. So nowadays all these many electric powered vehicles are on the road. So here we can say this is on electric vehicles. So this is the charging station. If you want to use the electric vehicle, we have to use a, or you have to first install a charging station, because refilling the batteries for charging of the electric vehicles. Electric vehicle is the car that operates on an electric motor without the use of gasoline. So here you can see we are not using any gasoline products, only we are using the electric motor which is to be powered by a battery supply or any some other source of energy, or a combination of gas and electricity. See, without the use of gasoline also we can manufacture the electric vehicle, or a combination of gas and electricity. These are essentially a large rechargeable battery. So very small voltage batteries are not efficient here. So that we have to use a very large rechargeable battery. They emit significantly less carbon than the conventional internal combustion engine. This is our main aim, to reduce the air pollution, to reduce the to reduce the carbon emission which is coming from the vehicles, so that we have reached the goal of that we are producing the less emitted carbon than the conventional internal combustion engines by these electric vehicles. So in next coming this lecture, I will be explaining the electric vehicle system. In this electric vehicle system, it contains the block diagram, the general block diagram of the electric vehicle system, how it will be driven by portable energy source, and what is the flow of it, how the energy coming from the battery to the wheel, and then it will be leads to the movement of the vehicle. So these will be we will see in the next video. Thank you.